Hey, what's going on there? Happy Thursday. Um, I somebody on Facebook asked me if I'd ever had a coronary calcium score or scan. I was like, no. I actually looked, and there's a place that does it literally across the street. I could probably throw a rock at the place that does it, and I'm gonna go at like what's like one now, so at like 3:30, get one done. See how that see how my 400 400 level cholesterol score is working out for me. um, But yeah, I would think it's interesting. I mean, who knows how if there was damage prior to, but it'd be nice to have a baseline start now and then check it in 10 years and then see what the difference is. I know it's a little scary. I mean, they actually like see how much calcium is developed or sorry plaque is developed inside of your arterial walls. So that's pretty intense. Um, Somebody was asking me today too about how I feel at the gym compared to when I was on a sugar-based diet, a plant-based diet with meat. And one thing I could say is that it's not there's not much difference. I think the intensity is a little bit different. So like I don't have as much like explosive power for sure, and I don't know if that's just because you're running off of a little bit slower type of energy, but I can tell you that the strength is still there. Um, I have sustained energy for longer, so I don't get as gassed. So like, if I go to the gym and work out for 2 hours, I still have sustained energy at the end. Whereas before, working out for 2 hours pretty hard, I would be somewhat gassed at the end. So I think that overall, I like that better because it's Zoe, stop making them cry, because that's like more sustainable. And I don't ever get sore anymore, which is really cool. I mean, I could just like crush legs, and the next day it's like, I do feel sore if I have anything with stevia in it. I have noticed that. So the sweetener stevia, I can tell you, definitely has an effect on the body. It's still a plant. I'm not sure what it does, but it definitely has an effect. Um, and then the closer that I stick to meat, salt, water, um, the better overall for sure, health wise. My sleep has been getting significantly better. I've been on thyroid medication for probably, I don't know, 3 4 years. I stopped taking it about a week ago. I stopped taking melatonin. I basically, my supplement regimen is zero, and every time I take something off of my regimen, whether it was melatonin or stevia or what have you, when I took that out, I saw an improvement somewhere in my diet, which is really cool. So if I don't, and this is like a long term thing. I started carnivore, last January, so it's only been 6 months, and I can tell you that it's a progression of like learning what works for you and what doesn't. It's not for everybody, and it's not. I say it's not for everybody, not because it's not really good for everybody, because it would be really good for everybody, but not everybody's going to have the willpower to do it. It's tough. There's not. At first you don't realize that your body is you're looking for a reward every time you eat, and that's why you're eating. You're not necessarily eating to fulfill your energy, and when that after you've gotten rid of the carbs and everything for 3 or 4 weeks, you know those 3 or 4 weeks are pretty tough, and after that you just food is something you do to keep moving. It's not as important, and it's not something that every few hours I got to eat, and you just don't feel that anymore. So, which is significantly better. My sleep. I mean, we're just like listening to books and stuff before bed, so we're not doing TV anymore. Um, man, my sleep score has just gone through the roof. No more supplements. And people are like, oh, carnivore seems expensive. It's like, well, if you're on a plant-based diet, all doctors will tell you you need to supplement, right? You need this, you need this, you need this, and that's obvious. That's just blatantly obvious that you're on a diet that's not sufficient for you, right? If you're on a proper diet, when you eat something, you don't need to supplement, because everything that you're getting is from what animals in the wild need to supplement their food, or their all their population gets diabetes or heart disease. Like, it doesn't exist, and the reason is because they're eating what they're supposed to eat. It's so simple. People say, "Oh yeah, plants are good for you," and this and that. Man, if they were, we wouldn't all be, on 10, 15 medications and getting, and, everybody getting sick. And like, I don't think carnivores get sick. Like, just regular sick on colds. Like, everyone that I've talked to since they've been on carnivore has just been like, no sicknesses, no, like, upsets. I mean, I got an upset stomach one time from eating brisket that had a bunch of barbecue sauce on it. And the sugar from the sauce mixed with the meat just did not feel good, and I got a little bit of a stomach ache. And that was early on. I can tell you that mixing sugar and meat together is not a good idea. It's not good for your for your body at all. um, but yeah, my health is just dramatically improved, and every time I would take away something that was plant based, it would just like just get better, and it's like, oh, aha, there it is. So is that to me, that's all the evidence I need. Everybody keeps like, oh, there's no studies for this, studies for that. I'm like, do you need a study? When you go to the grocery store, look at the people around you. Everybody's got bags under their eyes. They all look sick. They're all overweight. They don't look healthy, right? So, I mean, what evidence do you need that we're obviously not eating it? It's not just so everybody's like, oh, take out processed foods and this and that. That's a start, but I know a lot of people that aren't that healthy that and that do that, and they're still not healthy. There's a lot of people that think that being skinny is healthy. No, there's a lot of people that think that being muscular is healthy. Absolutely not. Quite the opposite, actually. Muscle mass is a your body has to work extra hard to maintain that. So it's more of a liability than anything else. It's not a sign of health. There's a lot of when I go to the gym and I see Zoe, Zen, stop it. I go to the gym and I see bodybuilders. They got back acne all over the place. Their skin looks like crap. Their eyes are all like bloodshot and big bags. And it's like, dude, yeah, it's the steroids will do that too. But in general, what are they doing? They're just pounding a bunch of carbs and pounding a bunch of meat together. Activating their Randall cycle, which is terrible for you. Never eat carbs and meat and fat together. They should be separate if you're going to eat them. Um, you know, but like back what I was going to earlier is like it's hard. It's not an easy. It's not for everyone, and unfortunately, you'll pay the price for that. Um, Gerontologists from UCLA did some studies on the biosphere experiment back in the I don't know, it was a while back in the 70s or something. Maybe it was the 90s, whenever the biosphere experiment was. But these 12 people went into this biosphere, and they basically supplied them with everything they need, all the essential nutrients, all the essential protein, everything was in their food, their air was clean, their water was 100% clean. It was like basically an isolated environment. And they were in there for like, I don't know how long they were in there, but they came out, and these gerontologists from UCLA studied every orifice of their body. And when they came out, they said, man, if you go back in there and you live the rest of your life, you'll live to be 120 years old. Right? And geneticists have also kind of, with all the technology that we have, and they know about telomeres and how like humans are practically programmed to live 120 years. Right? You think it's a long, healthy life to live to 80, 90. Not really. I mean, I think 120 years is should be your goal. And most of you, this isn't going to happen because we've been programmed, and the program is so strong. When I tell somebody not to eat plants, it's almost like you just like knocked them in the head with something, because like the idea of not eating plants or like rice and this and that, like to them is just so crazy. And immediately they try to like come up with a reason why you're crazy, like, oh, you're going to get cancer, this and that. There is no studies that link red meat to cancer. None. There's epidemic I can't ever say the word, epidemiological studies that show correlation, but correlation is not causation. There's also a correlation to people. Get down, Zen. Push them down. Get them down, Zoe. That show a correlation between people with yellow fingers and heart disease. Right? Does that mean that only people with yellow fingers get heart disease? No, it's probably because people with yellow fingers are smoking cigarettes and they get yellow fingers, and then cigarette inflammation causes inflammation in your arteries. Right? So these studies are also like based on secondhand information. They'll ask these people, hey, what did you eat in the last 6 months? Well, what do we know about people in general? They're liars, right? They're going to over exaggerate how healthy they were because they don't want to look bad. If you said, "Oh, what did you eat yesterday?" "Oh, I ate great yesterday," and then you think about it, you're like, "Oh, actually, I didn't. I had 2 glasses of wine. I had some chips and I had this." Right? You're not necessarily telling the truth. So I think you can't use those studies. Um, we don't have any actual studies that show randomized, controlled, like isolated studies where it's like you only get meat and you only get plants. We don't have those studies. Right? All we have is anecdotal evidence, and I my anecdotal evidence is like I'm convinced. You don't have to convince me, but you like some people need to be hit over the head. It's. I just want people to be able to experience what I've experienced, and to have health and be able to love their kids, and then teach your kid. And then not only that, we got a country to take back. I mean, really, we do. Uh, Zoe and I just crushed a big steak and about 15 chicken wings. Zen, get your butt down. Zen, get down. These kids, man, they're like little monkeys. Zen, get down. Is he eating? He climbed up on the table, on the chair, and onto the table to get the steak that I had cut up for him. He's eating the steak. I guess it's like a lion. You gotta hide the meat from him. Good job, buddy. You got your steak? Is it good? All right, that's fine. Let him do it. Whatever. I mean, how many of your kids would climb up onto a chair, up onto the top of a table? It's however many feet. He's only 17 months old. He's not. He's not. He climbed up on the table to get meat. He could have snuck into the pantry and grabbed. Well, I guess we don't have anything in the pantry anymore. We used to keep some like things and stuff in there, but he knows what he wants. He knows what's good. But yeah, yeah, the big thing is I'm gonna like let you guys know what the calcium score comes back at. So I'm kind of interested in that. See what happens with that. Wish me luck. We're going in a couple hours, so we'll talk to you again another time. See ya. Bye.